Welcome or welcome back to the Lockwood Chronicles. My name is Larissa and today we are going through what I read in October. October was such a successful reading month for me, mainly because I went on a vacation, like a long weekend, Thursday through Sunday. Got a lot of reading done at the airport, on the beach. It was great. Yeah, so I read so much and I was so happy. Also, I'm finally filming in the daytime. Crazy what good lighting can do. I read 6 books. Like, it just makes me so happy. I know some people are just crazy readers and can read, like, push out 15, 20 books in a month, and that'd be so great because then I could actually get my TBR shelves read, but it's definitely not feasible for me who works and is in a bunch of like extra activities. So any book that you read, even if you don't finish a book or you don't read for a month, whatever, it is what it is. We're all on our own reading journey. I'm just very pleased with mine this month. So with that being said, the first book that I finished was And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. It was my first Agatha Christie read, and it is based, or it was written in 1936 or so, so it was kind of based in the 1930s, and it's about these 10 strangers going on an island, getting invited out there onto an island, then all of a sudden, like, they'll start dying one by one. So it's a murder mystery, and there's twists and turns, and it's a closed-door romance. Hey, what is it called? Like a closed door mystery? I don't know what that means. No, that's not. Why? Anyway, there's no way that anybody can like get in and out, that kind of thing. Locked door mystery? Who's to say? I thought it was a really great concept. It was just a little dated for my liking, but I enjoyed it. The poem at the beginning was 10 little soldier boys went out to dine, and it continues counting down until and then there were none. And it tells how people die, and the way that it happened in the book was very twisted and very cool. I just found that very interesting. Also, that poem was supposed to be like a children's poem. That is a very inappropriate children's poem. I will say it was difficult to kind of keep track of the 10 characters. I wish I would have written them down a little bit. They just kind of all blurred together, and the only ones I could keep straight was the doctor. Yeah, that was it. The doctor was the only one that I was like, oh, it's the doctor. I had no clue half the time. It took me a minute to figure out who everybody else was. So I wish I would have written down the characters and kind of like their crime and any other indicators. It would have probably helped the reading process a little bit more, but it was a fun little whodunit kind of situation. Next up was the lovely Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. I did a whole reading vlog and book club episode on this, and the book club obviously has spoilers, the reading vlog does not, and it is based off of And Then There Were None, and I thought this was a much better, like, updated version of And Then There Were None, so it was still like that locked door, creepy, secluded island murder mystery, and it had really fun nods to it. Again, when I say updated, this one is based more in like the 80s and 90s, so it's a little more current, if you will. Like, there's definitely more references and stuff to that time period, and I just thought it was fun. I thought it was good. I thought the twist at the end was great. It was very different than this twist, so I appreciated that difference. Yeah, I highly enjoyed Daisy Darker. I thought it was a fun read. It was a fun, spooky read, as well as like trying to figure out what the heck was going on, and I did not guess it. Well, I guessed who did it, but then I did not guess the other thing that happened, so that was cool. Also, my turtleneck is being all funky. I got a turtleneck. I'm trying to be a turtleneck gal. I'm trying to be a turtleneck gal, you know? I just love to be warm and cozy. Let's do this one next. The Broke Millennial by Erin Lowry. I read this started reading this a while ago, and I only read it on my lunch breaks at work, so not very much. And I like to take my time with more of like the self-help and financial books because I like to implement and really absorb what was going in. I think this one is obviously geared towards millennials, but I think anybody can benefit from this. I think it's a very good basis and basic thing about finances, like how to get started, kind of what terms and logistics are. It deals with, also touches on investing a little bit, and just kind of helps get your, you know, financial life together. And I will be continuing on reading the, where is it? The takes on investing, because I do like to invest. I'm not well versed with it as I would like to be. Like I have a Roth and I have just an index. That's what I'm trying to say. I have an index fund. I would eventually love to get into individually picking stocks, but I feel like I will always primarily invest in my index fund and just for funsies do individual stocks. I think that would be a good time. But right now we're trying to hit other savings goals, so we won't have to worry about that for a little bit. But I really did enjoy this as kind of like a beginner's guide. Like I've stated in the past, I love personal finance. I love learning about it. I love reading about it. I love listening to podcasts about it. I love anything about personal finance. So I will honestly read pretty much everything that has to do with it, unless it's, you know, toxic personal finance culture. We don't like that. I'm mainly geared towards female financial people. I'm so tired, you guys. It's the day after like Halloween weekend and I'm just exhausted. Oh yes, I finished The MAID. I listened to it on audiobook. It's The MAID by Nita Prose. It's also a book of the month pick. I wish I would have bought the physical copy. However, I'm really happy that I listened to it via audiobook because the narrator did such a phenomenal job. I mentioned this in my reading vlog. She really captured Molly the Maid's essence and how her way of thinking, and it's like a cozy mystery and a murder mystery, and it was so cute. And Molly the Maid is just a sweet, phenomenal little human, and I adore her, and she's so good. She's so good. I would recommend getting the audiobook if you're able to. It was so cozy and so fun, and just like all the twists and turns that it took. Highly enjoyed Molly the Maid. So The MAID by Nita Prose, I would definitely recommend. Beautiful, fun time, just a good time. You just feel bad for her because people are taking advantage of her, and she just doesn't comprehend that because she just likes to see the best in everybody. And oh, I just love her. I want to be besties. All right, continuing on before my camera overheats. I read Lessons in Chemistry on my Kindle, and by Bonnie Garmis. It's a historical fiction. It's a very strong female character. It's based in what, the 60s, 70s? Anyway, there's a lot of sexist things happening as well as racism too, but this one mainly focused on women in science and how our main character, she was unable to she was a scientist. She's a scientist, and she had the hardest time getting into school and continuing on getting her PhD because of reasons I won't spoil. And then she's working at this science-y place. She's a chemist, and they treat her like crap. And then she meets this guy, Calvin, and they have such a beautiful relationship. And then what happens is she ends up becoming a TV person, and she does baking, or like a cooking show, but she bases it all in chemistry, and it's empowering, and I loved it. Very feminist, and go after your dreams. Don't let anybody stop you, even if you have to pivot those dreams for the time being. Do not give up on yourself. It was a beautiful story. I really loved it. I loved all the interconnections. It's a very much a found family story. And the dog. Oh my gosh. Can we... I just love the dog. The dog is the best. His name is the best. I won't spoil the name either because he is just the cutest. I love it so much. Big fan of the whole thing and all of the points that it made throughout and the trials and tribulations of what women had to go through during that time period. And it just really makes me mad. Makes me so mad how much further along science and other things could have been if there hadn't been those gender or stereotypes placed on people that were unable to succeed in that aspect. Like, we as a society, we could have been so much further along, most likely, if everybody would just, you know, buck up and not be sexist and racist pigs, you know? Just gonna throw that out there. Next up, Verity by Colleen Hoover. Holy schmoly guacamole. Wow. This was dark. This was very twisted. I absolutely loved it. This, I won't really go into detail except to say that Lowen ends up being a ghostwriter for this author Verity. She comes across Verity's manuscript for a potential autobiography, and Verity is not doing well. She was in an accident, so she's unable to finish the series that she was hired for. Whoa, was this a ride? This was disturbing in so many ways. There is an extended chapter now, and I bought this a week before that came out. I'm so upset. However, I had one of my friends just like give me the synopsis, and I may just like read the last chapter eventually, but I think I might be one of the few. I just really liked how the original ended. I really loved this ending. What my friend told me about the extended ending, that took a turn. So maybe I'll just like kind of, I don't know. I just really loved this ending. Amazing. This is gonna be a top Colleen Hoover read for me, even though I've only read 2 of her books, but wow, this one took the cake. Okay. Another book I read on my Kindle was The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. I wish I would have owned this book. It was so cute. It's a lovely little cozy romance. It's about this girl. She is an author. She's a ghostwriter. Lots of writers in this month's wrap up. She's a ghostwriter for this really prolific romance author, and she has had an experience where she blatantly just says romance is dead. I don't believe in happy endings anymore. And her new hot editor, whew, smoke show of a man, he won't give her an extension on the manuscript. Well, he won't give the author that she's writing for an extension on the manuscript, and she unfortunately gets a phone call home that she hasn't been to her hometown in 10 years, and unfortunately she has to return there. And when she gets there, her family is in the funeral business. So when she gets there, there's a knock at the door, she opens the door, and it's her hot editor as a ghost. Crazy stuff. I thought it was so cute. I thought it was so fun. Ben is the name of the book editor. I believe it's Benji. He is my new book boyfriend. I love him so much. I thought he was so cute. I thought he was so sweet, and it was just fun. There's so many puns in this book, and I am a slut for puns. I love puns so much. I think they're so fun. I love how cheesy they are, and there are so many of them, and it's so cheesy, so cute, and I absolutely love it. And I'm really sad I do not own the physical copy. I may have to do that from like a secondhand store, because it was just such a fun, cute read, and it also deals a lot with grief and how to not necessarily get past it, but move forward from it, as well as grief from relationships too. So a lot of dealing with grief, as well as getting past certain expectations, past experiences that have caused a lot of harm and trauma in people. But it was cute. It was a fun little read, so I enjoyed it. Oh, lastly, I did DNF one book, and it was Practical Magic. It's a temporary DNF. I just got 30% of the way done with it, and I did not care. I did not care to pick it up. I'm not saying I will not ever read it, but I think the route I will take if I do go back to it is I will listen to it via audiobook. I think that will be a lot more helpful. It's the chapters, there's not really any chapters. There's like, they're divided into sections, and the sections are just too long, and I just did not care to read it, which is unfortunate, but I will most likely pick it up via audiobook probably next fall season. I think that's just the route I have to take for it. It was getting interesting, but I'm such a mood reader, and I just was not in the mood. I could care less to read that, and I want to read stuff that I'm in the mood to read. Life is too short to be reading books you do not care about, and I have to tell myself that every time I DNF a book, which is not often, but it should be more often, you know? All in all, really great reading month. It was a good reading month. I am very happy with the books that I got to read, and I am looking forward to what I read in November. Who knows? Who knows what I'll get to? I'm for sure hopefully gonna read 2. I mean, I have to minimum read 2. Well, at least I have to minimum read our book club pick, which if you saw last week's November TBR, I announced our book club pick for the month, and it is going to be Carrie Soto is Back by, whoopsies, Taylor Jenkins Reid. So if you would like to read that in preparation of this month, or read it at some point, there will be a reading vlog and a book club episode with that. That's gonna do it for us today. If you like these videos, please feel free to give it a thumbs up. It lets me know that you like it. It also helps, you know, this channel get some recognition so other people can also hang out with us, because we love that. Woo! As well as subscribe to the channel if you'd like, so then you don't miss things. And what else? Oh, you know, respect others, respect yourself, and do something amazing with your day. Thanks. Bye.